just want to go somewhere back quickly to the 2021 draft before we stray too far away from it. What do you remember?
General managers, pay attention. General managers, pay attention.
What do you remember about that draft? Because obviously, like, it was the COVID draft. The OHL didn't even play. Guys played, I think it was the World Championships or the U17s, whatever it ended up being. There was a report, too, that the others didn't even interview Wyatt Johnston, who obviously went to pick after they ended up taking Xavier Bourgault. But that was basically the Wild Wild West in a way, right? Because half the players didn't even play.
It was. That was one of those drafts that really tested the mettle of your amateur scouts. And I'll tell you, so he doesn't get a lot of headlines. I'm glad you brought up Wyatt Johnston, because one of the people, like, when the book is written on this era of NHL and NHL teams, and we'll see where the Dallas Stars go. They could win the Stanley Cup this year. I could have said that about them last year too. They got to get past the Edmonton hurdle. Joe McDonnell. Joe McDonnell is the head of amateur scouting for the Dallas Stars and has been for a number of years. I can recall him coaching the Kitchener Rangers in the 90s. Coach Todd Warner, coached a lot of really good players. Joe McDonnell and his staff, because it's not just the drafting, but it's also the development staff as well. Like, we'll look back on the draft where they picked off, Heiskanen and Ottinger and Jason Robertson in the second round, right before the Florida Panthers, who wanted to take him, and there was slamming of books on the desk. Joe McDonnell, as much as we talk about what Dallas has done and all the players and the great job that Jim Nill has done putting this together, the pipeline of your organization, or your organization, is generally always going to be, how many players can your amateur scouts put in your organization to develop? And for that, I'll defer to Rich Peverly, who does a great job on the development side with a lot of these practices. But make no mistake about it, the scouting staff that the Dallas Stars have, and sure, like, Heiskanen was a high pick, but the way that they've been able to pick off players up and down the draft is a real masterclass at how to do it. And because you're not just watching players in their draft year or a year before, like, you start to build the bio years and years before. And that was someone, Wyatt Johnston, that they really stumped for, that amateur staff really felt really passionately about. And now, it's to the point where, and I know he had a real frustrating playoffs last year. I don't ultimately think that he makes it, but can you not make the case right now for Wyatt Johnston with Team Canada?
I think the cases for guys like Johnston and, in a different part like Bedard and Celebrini, the cases for those guys are almost easier if Austin Matthews scores on Jordan Binnington in overtime. Because then Canada's sitting here in a full-fledged, like, we need to be way different than we were at the Four Nations. We need to we only scored twice in that final game. Like, we need goals. Like, because they won.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.